This is the first sketchbook in my graphic communication GCSE component thing. It's called Component 1 Portfolio, and this was an AQA specification. We did our topic on branding, and I think overall I got an 8 at GCSE, and that's with 3 sketchbooks altogether, and then your final exam, which is that 2 days in the classroom. So this is the first component we did, which was all about branding. So I decided to do my sketchbook landscape and just do this big typography in the Coca-Cola font as my front page. And starting off with mood board, same as I did with A-level 1, broke it down into different sections. So I've got logos, wording, products, fonts, colours and images. Again, I've got that same Coca-Cola font that I was doing writing out. I don't know why I did rainbow throughout this book. I think it was just so it could match any of the colour schemes that came up. But yeah, a bit of analysis on all of these. And here I used acetates to kind of annotate some of my initial concepts. So I drew out all my different designs here, and then over the top wrote about them. Picked 3 of my favourite logos and then developed those and wrote a little bit about them there, which ones I was going to choose, why. So I chose this scribbler design, and scribbler is like an old-fashioned word for a writer, and I was doing this like writer's coffee shop thing. So I've got idea development there, developing different colours, different types of images I was going to use, and different fonts. And as always, get your process screenshots. So this was drawing out the logo, putting the image into Illustrator, colouring it in, adding details, and then my final image, which is obviously terrible. I'm aware of that now. This was as good as I could do at GCSEs without being taught how to use Adobe properly. And then always write a reflection upon your final thing. Then we went on to gift bags. This is quite short little topics that we did, because obviously we were trying to cover branding, which includes a lot, so we did lots of little projects. So the first little project was make a logo, second project make a gift bag, and we're just expanding on the logo branding that you've already done, so you don't need to come up with a whole new thing. I did the same here with my initial ideas. I just drawing nets and then the final thing of what each of these bags would look like, and then wrote over the top of those. You can see how old this is because that is double-sided tape, which was completely clear at the time. I think I finished my GCSEs in 2019, so this is like 6 years old, this book. It's been through a lot. So then we got mock-ups of nets. I liked it if I'm trying to put lots of images in one place and I don't want to overcrowd it, I kind of overlap them over each other. So this is all one bag idea and just different images of it. So mock-ups are a great way to show your ideas and then test it out for yourself as well. This was one of my favourite pages. I'm just obsessed with different types of card and I love it. So I did this whole entire page analysis on materials, which is way too in-depth, but it was really fun and I liked it, and it probably helped me get in that grade. So I literally just have little samples of different types of card, talked about the types of card here, and then talked about how they are when they fold. So this was helping me choose what material I want to make my gift bag out of. So when I got to my final net, I talked a little bit about different sections of typography, the handle, colour choices, things like that. So my idea development here, and thinking about what I actually want on each face, so getting more into detail now. And again, I've done the same thing of kind of layering over my different ideas. So you just make little hinges with tape, and it's a good way to make more space in your books. And again, I've got that process in Illustrator. I used to go so much more creative with my layouts in pages, like my GCSE books. All of their backgrounds and layouts are so much more fun than my A-level one. So So I was making the gift bag net, and then there's also making like an insert inside to hold the coffee cup. As I said, this is just developing on that logo idea we did in the project before, so I've kept the same logo, kept the same idea of a writer's coffee shop, so that's why I'm doing a gift bag that can hold a coffee cup. So this were very low quality images of my mock-up, and then an analysis under here. So I've got what went well under this side, and then under this side I've got what could be improved. Best thing about these ring binder books that you get for your sketchbook coursework is that you can add things into them really easily. So this is an extra page that I've just punched and cut so that it can stick in there. And this was my like printed out net before it got folded or cut or anything, and then on the back of it I've got my big proper analysis there. So net assembly again, I've done those little hinges and just written a little bit about explaining each step under the pictures of them. Oh, this was fun. Then we moved on to shopfront ideas. I love this page, to be honest. So yeah, so the next thing we did was a shopfront, and again we're staying with that same brand that we've already come up with. So my brand is this coffee shop. So these are my 4 initial concepts. This is a bit of a mood board. I did it on the doors. Again, I've got this acetate to annotate over the top of each of the elements. So I've got my title, my mind map, my mood board, my initial concepts, and my analysis. So then I take forward my favourite idea from it and annotate that as well, about how I'm actually going to incorporate some of these, why the choices are made, what I would improve. Oh, mug vinyls. I'm pretty sure I did terribly with this one and I never actually handed it in. But, God, look how old that tape is. You can see all the lines of it. That's crazy. So mug vinyls, I did little doors, like the cupboards that you keep mugs in. I thought it was cute. I probably made my sister help me. Yeah, so I've got 4 different ideas here. I usually go 3 or 4 ideas for whatever I'm doing. I showed each side of it and then what the whole wrap would look like. That's really funny. I forgot I did that. I did that as an idea. This is now a tattoo that I have. At least I have consistent taste. And then for each of these, I've got my analysis on the doors as well of why it would be a good idea, how easy it would be to make, what I would need to consider, etc, etc. So developing my chosen concept, and then final. Oh my god, what is on the other side of this page? I think I did this in oil paint. Wow, look at that. That is seeped into the pages. Again, this is like 6 years old. Anyway, final mug. I did really badly on this, but that's fine because it doesn't matter how good or bad you do, you just need to mention that in your analysis. I'm up here, mood board up here. Ended up going for this one because that kind of opening of the mouth when you open the top of it, I thought was quite fun. So idea development, here just making a very basic mock-up of it. This was literally out of paper, I think, and just drawn on, printed out, just to see if it would work, see the sizing, see what you need to make and alter. And then screenshots of the actual process of making it in Adobe and 2D design. That's what you connect to the laser cutters to actually cut things out. So then I've got the proper net here. And again, the quality of this was terrible. But that doesn't matter. You just need to show your final things, your steps of how you did it, and then analyse it. And here I've done a little analysis of putting the mug and the packaging together, how well they work together, how well it fits, how different they are, how clear the branding is, to kind of show that you're thinking bigger picture. Oh, product in a tin. We all had so much fun with this. This was like an extra thing, I think, that we did at the end, just for the sake of it, because we had time, I'm pretty sure. I didn't recommend drawing things in pencil, to be honest, because it's so faint, you can barely see it. So like I would sketch it out in pencil and then probably go over it in pen. Anyway, we were given those small Pringles tins, you know, like the little ones you get on planes. And the brief was design a product that fits inside that. So started off with loads of different ideas, because there are loads of things you could do that are small. And then I explained a bit about each of these, because you can't get a good idea just from a drawing of what your full concept is. So talk about the materials that are used, what the purpose of it is, and things like that. Oh, we did like a proper analysis breakdown here. Oh, they love an acronym. This was Access FM. So then you just got different products down here and talk about all of the different strengths and weaknesses of them. So there's aesthetics, customer, cost, environment, safety, size, function, and material. And we're just comparing what would be a good idea and what would be a bad idea, basically. A little plan and design specification. And then I did development phase. I did stamps, actually, because I had a Etsy shop at the time, and that was like my logo. And it was to stamp on the back of the cards that I would make. So this was for me, personally, because I wanted them, and it would be useful. So I've got drawn up ideas, and then how I brought them into the process of it. As I said in my A-level video, most of your sketchbook is experimentation and development. In GCSEs, most of it is your make process, because that is equivalent to your development. You don't need as much experimentation because you don't have as much time. Because obviously I did 3 sketchbooks for GCSEs, and I think just one final thing in A-levels. Don't quote me on that, but yeah, a lot of your GCSEs is going to be the process. Oh, I did like a little envelope here. I couldn't figure this out. I don't have these. Oh, I do have them inside. I have most of them in my cupboard still. Yeah, I've only got one that I actually kept in here. So if you're doing like 3D products, if you can put them in your book, if they're small enough, go for it. I just made this little pocket so that they could sit inside there. If you can't, then take pictures and put the pictures inside. And then I've got my evaluation here. So for your evaluation, I've got basically an overview of the intention of what I was trying to make. This is what went well. This is how, however, when actually doing my designs, it didn't go so well in the process, so I had to revise some of the process of how I was actually going to make them. The final product, did it achieve my specification that I set out for myself? And the packaging, how did it all come together? Oh, there's more. Product and packaging. These are just wraparounds, so I did 4 initial designs. I did not go into a lot of detail with these, to be honest, because I went into more detail later. This, I pinned my actual thing into the book. So this is just that wrap that goes around that Pringles can. This was my actual branding from my Etsy shop, because obviously I made those stamps for it. So that was quite easy for me. I literally just took the branding from my shop. And then here I've got a sticky note saying, this was done a while ago. It was at the beginning of the project and has since faded because I stamped my logo, those acrylic stamps you saw, I stamped it into foam. So it made like an embossing into the foam, but it's completely faded now. But yeah, that was the branding portion. I think someone gave me a gift and they wrapped it in the ribbon, and I just made a handle for my book. Anyway, that was the branding portion, which was part 1 of the portfolio. I'll upload part 2 and 3 soon, because all 3 of them come together to give you your final GCSE grade.